Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If this is the very first time you found me, yay, finally you're here. And if you're a subscriber returning for more, yay, thanks for coming back. My subscribers already know that my goal is to save you time and money by giving you the scoop on filmmaking quality and content so that you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money watching a particular film. So today the movie I'm reviewing is called Joker, Folie à Deux. This dark musical sequel is now playing in theaters. It's rated R, and I'm going to give you some tips for parents in just a minute. This is not a family-friendly film. It is 2 hours and 18 minutes long, and my overall movie review mom grade is a C. Now that might actually sound bad, but it's actually better than a lot of film critics and audiences. I didn't think it was a total loss, which some people are saying. But before I get into all of that, let me explain. I'll give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like, tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and we'll finish up with recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like if you like this one, or you probably might like it better than this one. All right, so in a nutshell, Todd Phillips directed the film as well as co-wrote it with Scott Silver. Now, Todd Phillips crushed it in the last Joker movie, and it won all kinds of awards. But audiences and critics are hating on this sequel. The story picks up where the last movie left off, with Arthur Fleck, Joker, in an asylum awaiting trial for the murders that he committed in the last movie. While there, he falls in love with another patient who's there at the same asylum, Harley Quinn, whom everyone calls Lee. All right, so quick tips for parents. As I mentioned, this is not appropriate for kids. There's tons of profanity, including many F-bombs. An animated clip at the very beginning of the movie shows blood splatter, violence, and the naked rear end of a man. We see an intimate act, sort of, mostly with clothes on, but sound effects and movement and that kind of thing. And then there's, throughout the rest, there's violence with blood. Some of the themes are emotional trauma, which was definitely the big theme of the first movie, mental illness, crime, the power of music as music therapy and expression, love, and the desire for acceptance, belonging, and understanding. Now, there's a long list of things I really did like about this movie. First of all, the French words in the title, Folie à Deux, has double meaning. And I always like it when directors come up with movies titles that have a double entendre. So much French in this review. It's actually a rare psychiatric syndrome where two or more people share the same delusional belief system, such as the Joker persona and Arthur Fleck. Are they the same person? Are they two different people? But obviously, it also refers to the madness of two, or a shared madness, such as the romance between Joker and Lady Gaga's character, who also has some mental health issues. Joaquin Phoenix won an Academy Award, if you remember, for his performance in the last Joker movie. He was incredible, and he's incredible in this sequel too. It's really mesmerizing just to watch his performance. He is so talented, and he has been since all of the movies I've ever seen him in, since the very beginning. But we also hear him sing and dance too. Now, he doesn't have a great singing voice like Lady Gaga, but he actually does a pretty good job in this one little dancing moment that I was like, hey, it looks like he's actually doing that. He was really nervous about the singing portions, and so Lady Gaga coached him every day, and that also made him even more nervous. But I'm sure she was able to bring out some good qualities in his voice. But more important than that, he brings an emotional performance to his singing. Now, believe it or not, this is actually his very first sequel in his entire career. That kind of sounds crazy, right? Now, both Joaquin and Lady Gaga required all of the cast and crew to call them by their character names, real method acting, so that they could disappear into their roles. And mission accomplished, they absolutely both did. I thought Lady Gaga was terrific in the movie A Star is Born. I've seen that a bunch of times, and every time I'm so impressed with her and her performance. So I was really excited to see what she would do in this one. She won an Oscar actually for the song that she wrote for The Star is Born. Actually, she wrote several things, but she gives us a very different version of a Harlequin, Harleen Quinzel, than previously seen and adored by Margot Robbie. In this movie, her character goes by the name Lee, as I mentioned earlier. And I was really sad to see her smoking so much in this movie because it can be really harmful to her beautiful voice. And I really do love her voice. And by the way, I don't know if you saw her recent stage performance on her tour. I actually did a review of that. In fact, I'll cue that up so you can watch that after you watch this movie, just because I thought it was really interesting and it really showcases how much of an actress she is while she's singing, which of course is where she got her fame and fortune originally. She actually released a companion album called Harlequin to tie into this film's launch. Now, I love the music in this movie. My mother was a nightclub singer many years ago, and she sang many of the songs that are featured in this film. All of the other cast members in the film did a really great job and features Zazie Beetz, Jacob Lofland, Harry Louty, and 3 Academy Award nominees, Steve Coogan, Brendan Gleeson, and Catherine Keener. And they're all really great in this. This is the very first DC Comics movie to be launched under the new DC Elseworlds banner. DC Comics created that name back in 1991 for movies that would have stories that are outside of the canon of the DC Comics. When we think of the DC superheroes and that kind of thing. So stories that are set in alternate realities like this movie is. Clearly, people have been interested in this sequel. Within the first 24 hours of releasing the trailer for this movie, it received 167 million views. That's pretty impressive. I wish this movie had some more kind of foreshadowing of a Batman type character, even though it is outside that DC Comics standard universe. But the one thing that we do get is a sign that says Wayne, as in Wayne Enterprises, that a motorcade passes on the way to court. But there are more Easter eggs than that. For example, there's a cartoon it's a real short cartoon at the very beginning of the movie where we see someone in the crowd holding the sign that Arthur Fleck had stolen in the last movie that said, "Everything must go." And then another Easter egg that shows up in the very first song that Arthur and Lee sing together is Get Happy, the Judy Garland song from the 1950 movie called Summer Stock. So Arthur's mother always called him Happy in the last movie, and it kind of sets the tone for the film. He is searching for happiness and love. Visually, I think the movie is really fantastic. The movie does a lot of things well. I'll get to the things that drive people nuts here in just a second. And then look closely, and you just might notice the rooftop set during one of the musical numbers that was also used in the 2017 movie, The Greatest Showman. Man, I love that movie. I've seen that way too many times. And that is a classic rooftop scene that they have in that one. Now, on to the list of things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done better. First of all, why would someone who was put in an asylum for burning down a building be given a pack of matches? Okay, maybe she stole them, but you'd think you'd be really careful with someone like that. The storytelling really drags. There are quite a few scenes that could have been cut or even just shortened to take the film to a shorter watch. It kind of makes a point and then it kind of drags, and you're like, is the movie going to cover anything new or different? We get the point that they're trying to make. Now, the point goes deeper and deeper, and so the point is made, but there is more to it than just that, I think. The trailer showed an intriguing scene that doesn't actually appear in the movie. It showed Arthur Fleck and Lee dancing down the courthouse stairs. Lee wears this blue dress that emphasizes her pregnant belly. And there were other things in the trailer that also didn't make it into the film. And then another thing that is driving people nuts is that the film's budget was $200 million, which is more than 3 times what the first Joker movie cost. So many people, and ultimately this is the biggest complaint, are saying that this movie should not have included a musical or have musical numbers. Now, I wouldn't call it a musical. I think that there are some musical numbers that feature an element that I thought was kind of important. For example, I think it allowed us to enter into Arthur's fantasy and psychotic mind, to experience what he was experiencing, how he was seeing the world. It's the shared altered reality between Arthur and Lee, because she is in the dreams and she partakes of his delusions as well. And so I liked it. Of course, I like Lady Gaga. I like musicals. I like singing. And some people are saying, no, it's supposed to be a dark drama. And I get that. But I also recognize the value, and I recognize, I think, what the director was trying to say. The director isn't always super clear because he kind of heads one direction and then maybe goes another direction. And so it's hard to tell if he was trying to create a movie that looks inward and at emotional trauma specifically, or an outward look at our broken society today that creates monsters like Joker. Can a movie effectively do both? I think it absolutely can. Did this one? I don't know. So many people have been saying, oh, this movie's garbage, it's terrible. But there was good in it, and it certainly wasn't as bad as Metalopolis, or the movie I'm talking about. Is that what it was called? That was truly not good. All right, so let me share some interesting lines and funny lines. I always write them down as I watch them, simply so I can share them with you, so you can get a taste of the dialogue and the script writing quality. Sorry, I just banged my microphone. So I looked at my notes, and for funny lines, the only thing I wrote down was knock, knock, because several people say that in the movie. But more time is better spent sharing some of the interesting lines. By the way, you can see all of these on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. I won't take the time to read all of them because I did actually write down quite a few. But this first line is spoken by Lee Quinzel, played by Lady Gaga. And she says, "For once in my life, I didn't feel so alone anymore." She feels it as well as Arthur Fleck, the Joker. And again, that's that theme of belonging and feeling like someone gets you, and how important that is in life. And in fact, Arthur Fleck says at one point, "I love her. She gets me." And then an interesting line that is also a line from a musical movie, is from a song, is spoken by Lady Gaga's character many times, when she says, "We're going to build a mountain from a little hill." That's the big goal that they're looking for. They want to escape. They want to create this life together. And I thought it was an interesting way to describe that building a mountain from a molehill even kind of adds another perspective to it. At one point, Arthur Fleck asks Lee Quinzel, "Did you lie to me?" And she says, "Sure. I mean, everyone lies a little," and that's sort of the crack that begins a little bit of a problem in their relationship and creates some distance between the two of them. Can they trust each other? Can they build a life together? At one point, she says to Joker, "You can do anything you want. You're Joker." And that's when you see she has really slipped into this whole fantasy of who Joker is. And then I'm not going to give you any spoilers. Stuff happens. Anyway, but that's an important pivotal moment in the movie. And then Harvey Dent says something. Now, we don't get a whole lot of information about Harvey Dent in this movie. In the comics, his face is burned. Something happens, and you see him kind of holding on to his face, but we don't really dive into who he is, suggesting maybe there's a sequel, or maybe we don't need to know. This movie really was about Arthur and Lee. I don't know. Anyway, he says they believe Arthur Fleck to be some kind of martyr, referring to all of the crowds that have been coming to the courtroom to watch and see what's going to go on. And he says, well, he is not. He's a monster. So he's the prosecuting attorney, and he does a good job. He seemed a little young, the actor, for the role, but he still did a good job. And then another line that Lady Gaga's character says is, "I'm nobody. I haven't done anything with my life like you have." And she's talking to Arthur as Joker. Like, she's just so enamored with this persona of Joker, and to her, that's everything. All right, now there are so many more lines, but I don't want this to be a 20-minute video. So let me just finish up with recommendations for 3 films that I think that you'll like if you like this one, or you just might like them better. First of all, you need to go back and watch the first Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. Again, Academy Award winning performance as well as filmmaking. It was just so well done. And people are wondering what happened to the director? Did he just lose his mind or not care? I think he just had a vision that was different. The last one worked out well for him. And that was also a different kind of vision for Joker, but everybody loved it. Anyway, and then another movie that I thought was sort of similar, kind of about star-crossed lovers who were kind of monstrous, is the movie The Crow. And by the way, there's a new Crow for 2024. You can go back and watch the original, but there's also a new one, so you can check that one out. And then the last one is American Psycho. I think people are fascinated with the dark drama of psychological disorders and mental health disorders. And that is just a big topic nowadays anyway. And it used to be very taboo. People didn't talk about it. And now everybody says that they use a therapist, and it seems to have less of a stigma, I think, because we do live in a difficult world and a lot of people do need therapists just to get through every day, right? Anyway, so if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. Really great performances in that one as well. Creepy, of course. All right, so thank you so much for spending some time with me. When you get a minute, subscribe, hit the like button, comment down below. And by the way, the links to all of those videos or the movies that I just recommended are down in the description below, as well as a bunch of other stuff. So check that one out. Visit me on social media. I'm everywhere, and have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.